Game week 23 wildcard video. In this one I will take a look at the best possible wildcard team. So there are some fixture swings coming up in game week 24, and this is why there are some gray fixtures in this graphic. So there are some players that I really would like to have from game week 24 and onwards. So I don't really like to lock in transfers on a wildcard, so we might as well just bring them in for game week 23. So should we potentially wait to use the wildcard until game week 24? Let's have a look at this as well. So in goal, I would go for Sanchez. Chelsea, they have some really good fixtures coming up, especially from game week 24 and onwards, but the fixture in game week 23 is not the worst, playing against Crystal Palace. So especially in December, Crystal Palace, they looked really tired. They have had a bit of rest now, so they will potentially be a bit better. But players like Guehi, looks like he will join Man City. So how will this affect Crystal Palace losing their captain? I think that Chelsea can do well against Crystal Palace in game week 23. As mentioned, from game week 24 and onwards, I think Chelsea will pick up a couple of clean sheets. On the bench, I have the only starting 4.0 goalkeeper, Dubravka. In defense, a double up on the best defense. I have Timber and Gabriel. So they are quite expensive, 6.3 for Timber, 6.8 for Gabriel. But I think at this point it's probably worth it investing in the Arsenal defense. So they are heavily owned. So if Arsenal keep a clean sheet, your rank will take a hit if you don't have any Arsenal defenders. Even if you only have one Arsenal defender, you will lose rank if they keep a clean sheet. So they are the best defense. As mentioned, they are usually the bookie's favorites to keep a clean sheet, and I think they will continue delivering going forward. So with attacking threat added, and they can pick up defensive contribution points as well, I think they are good options going forward. I have Michele in as well. Solid fixture in game week 23, playing against West Ham. Sunderland, they have actually been really good defensively so far this season. Michele, he is really good value. He can pick up defensive contributions. He has some attacking threat as well. And as we have seen, Sunderland, they are actually one of the teams that can keep a clean sheet. So in defense, Timber, Gabriel, and Michele. On the bench, I have the cheapest starting player in FPL at the moment, Gudmundsson from Leeds. And the last player on the bench is kind of a player that will start most games, but at the moment he's actually injured. So Crystal Palace, they have some really good games coming up, but if I were to use my wildcard this game week, I think I would have included Munoz. So he is quite expensive to have on the bench, but you will save a transfer down the line if you bring in Munoz this game week. In midfield, I've gone for Bruno Fernandes. You can possibly avoid this fixture by playing a wildcard in game week 24. So in game week 23, Man United, they play away against Arsenal, possibly the toughest game of the season. So as mentioned, you can avoid this by playing a wildcard in game week 24. But if your team really needs it, then you should activate your wildcard this game weekend. Of course, Bruno Fernandes, he is the talisman for Man United, has a lot of routes to points, so of course he can deliver against Arsenal as well. So kind of the same with Rodgers, tough game in game week 23, playing away against Newcastle. So by playing your wildcard next game week in game week 24, you can possibly avoid this fixture as well. But Rice, solid option, and same goes for Enzo Fernandez, playing against Crystal Palace. And the last player in midfield, I talked about this in my recent videos as well, Tavernier. He looks like a really good option at the moment, only priced at 5.5, selected by 2.5% of the managers. He looks to be the talisman at Bournemouth at the moment after Semenyo left to play for Man City and Kluivert picked up an injury. Tavernier, he looks like a really good option at the moment. So 5 players in midfield: Bruno Fernandes, Rodgers, Rice, Enzo Fernandez, and Tavernier. Thanks for watching. Please consider giving this video a like, and if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. I have live Q&As always the night before the deadline, and I have deadline streams as well. And I post weekly team selection videos and wildcard and free hit updates as well. So if you're interested, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Up front, I've gone for Erling Haaland. He is the most selected and the most expensive player in FPL at the moment. 15.1, 74% ownership, but the fixture is really good as well in game week 23, playing at home against Wolves. The next player is Watkins. I think that doubling up on Aston Villa could be a good differential going forward. So as mentioned with Rodgers, not the best fixture in game week 23. They have to travel to play away against Newcastle in game week 23. So of course on paper it doesn't really look that great, but as mentioned, if you can delay your wildcard, you can potentially avoid this fixture. But of course Watkins, he can score against Newcastle. Same goes for Watkins, same goes for Bruno Fernandes against Arsenal, but it doesn't really look good on paper. But let's take a look at the bench as well. I have selected Krupi Jr., the Bournemouth player. They have some really good fixtures coming up, only priced at 4.6, and he can potentially be a really good asset. So you can potentially play him, and if you need your bench to deliver, you have a strong option in Krupi. So on the bench, Dubravka, Krupi, Gudmundsson and Munoz. In goal, Sanchez, Timber, Gabriel, Michele. Tough fixtures for Fernandes, Rodgers, Tavernier against Liverpool as well. So there are actually 4 players with a grey fixture, but let's see how this looks on a game week 24 wildcard. The game week 23 wildcard looks solid, but I think that a game week 24 wildcard looks even better. So I have the same goalkeeper combination with Sanchez in goal and Dubravka on the bench. Both of them have actually solid fixtures. Let's take a look at defense. The defense looks a bit different. I have the same double up on Arsenal with Timber and Gabriel, but I have Munoz in my starting 11. He can potentially be ready to start in game week 24 against Nottingham Forest. So if Munoz looks to be ready for game week 24, he definitely should be considered. On the bench, I have the same options. So Michele, he was in my starting 11 on a game week 23 wildcard, but Gudmundsson, he is still in. Hopefully I will not have to play Gudmundsson that often. He is the cheapest starting player in FPL at the moment, only priced at 3.8, so at least he gives decent cover on the bench. So in midfield on a game week 24 wildcard, I would go for those 5. So it's the same players as a game week 23 wildcard, so I don't really like pre-planning my transfers when playing my wildcard. So I really like those players for game week 24 and onwards. So Bruno Fernandes, Fulham at home. I think this is the right entry point for Bruno Fernandes and United players. So I think that he can do well in game week 24 and onwards. Rodgers is in as well, playing against Brentford. We have Rice, Leeds away, same as with Gabriel and Timber. Enzo Fernandez at home against West Ham. This could potentially be a really good fixture for Chelsea. And we have Tavernier playing against Wolves. So really like those fixtures. We saw on the game week 23 wildcard that players like Fernandes, Rodgers, Tavernier, they had tough games in game week 23, but the fixture swing in game week 24 make this team look really, really good. Up front, I would still go for Erling Haaland. I like the fixture in game week 24 as well, playing against Spurs. So Spurs, they have been a team that have been really up and down so far this season. They have delivered in some games, but we have seen some really poor defensive performances from Spurs as well. So hopefully in game week 24, Man City will score a couple of goals and Erling Haaland will be involved. So Haaland, he is in. I have Watkins as well. So in game week 23, he played against Newcastle, so a tough game for Watkins and Aston Villa in game week 23. But in game week 24, I like the fixture playing at home against Brentford. So on the bench, Michele, Krupi Jr. and Gudmundsson. We can see that this is actually close to being a bench boost team. So another point is that if you actually like this team, you can potentially play your wildcard in game week 23 and bring in the team that I showed you a couple of minutes ago, and you can potentially play the bench boost with this team. So Dubravka against Sunderland, Michele at home against Burnley, Krupi Jr. against Wolves, and you will have Gudmundsson against Arsenal. Not the best fixture for Gudmundsson, but for a bench boost, I think this definitely is good enough. You can potentially, of course, save your chips for double game weeks, and I will give more updates on the upcoming blanks and doubles as well. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. But please let me know what you think about the Game Week 23 and Game Week 24 wildcard draft. Please let me know if there are any players you would change. But please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content.